1.6 was a really solid esports game title. The like number one. It's like in viewership wise, fan base wise, everybody was fond of Counter-Strike players, and it was since 2001 or 2002. Counter-Strike was basically the headliner of the esports.
Well, the Counter-Strike scene back in days, as well as gaming, was like really small. You know, a tournament, it was maybe 30 people standing behind watching. You thought it was like great if 10,000 people watched the game online. That was like a huge deal. People didn't have the money to go to the tournaments, and it was like if you got a mouse from a sponsor, you were like the king. Like with no professional gear.
Tournaments, it's like was the best events ever, with the first prize like 10 cans of beers, you know, and after the tournaments even the winner is sharing everything with the crowd, so like with all other players. So it was pretty cool underground movement, and it was so exciting because like you can achieve something, and this is the like the highest level of underground movement during those days in terms of like high tech and everything, and you understand that you're part of it.
Considering how it looks now you get like huge money to actually use the gear, and you co-develop gear, so it's like personalized for you and your team, and it's hundreds of thousands of people watching the games and people running after the players in the streets. So it's like it's gone from pretty much nothing to be, at least in Sweden, it's pretty much the biggest sport right now in the case of people playing it or competing in it. So I mean it's grown from nothing to being so big in like 10 years.
Короче, деньги — это хороший мотиватор, но абсолютно не главный. Но это для каждого по-разному. Для кого-то деньги — это самое важное в игре, для кого-то наоборот. Это вообще не имеет никакого значения. Поэтому не знаю. Но для меня, допустим, деньги не являются главным фактором того, что я играю. Это, скажем так, это приятный бонус.
Back in the days it was all about the honor and all about your power of will, and right now it's sometimes, and not in majority, not in like the biggest threat, but means right now it's about the money. So people can earn, can live, and can play.
We support different Counter-Strike tournaments, whether it's a local get-together or such a big event as IEM. But we're here to support big lands or small events.
Эти турниры, они, конечно, являются, это самое важное, что происходит с Counter-Strike, потому что они привлекают молодых игроков. Молодые игроки хотят самореализоваться, хотят выиграть турнир, на котором большой призовой, и хотят попасть в историю этой игры. Если бы этих турниров не было, просто не было бы возможности это делать. То есть это самое важное, что происходит здесь. Вот именно вот такой вот турнир.
CS needs major tournaments, online tournaments, middle-sized tournaments, local tournaments, all kinds of tournaments. So I don't really think that the impact will be, it's only a positive impact here. With a major prize money, with a major stage and everything. And every time there is a tournament that takes place with such a beautiful stage as CS has here, with such a beautiful final that it's going to have, I think it only pushes everyone else to become better than that. So in that sense, I don't see how it can even be negative here. I think it pushes everyone to improve, it pushes everyone to be better, and pushes everyone to make sure that the fans get what they really expect and what they really deserve from Counter-Strike.
The reason why Counter-Strike scene got so much smaller is because of ESWC, Inter-Extreme Masters and WCG just shutting them down. These three biggest events just shut down the Counter-Strike 1.6, and they didn't think about the fans, didn't think about the people who were playing Counter-Strike, who were loving players and watching the best teams compete, and they just had to think about money, they had to think about their own business just to survive in esports, because esports maybe at the moment with Riot Games, with Valve investing, is getting bigger and bigger, but before that people had to be worried about sponsors like Intel, BenQ and others to really invest some money into the tournament. So, and of course like Blizzard or Valve, like if you create a game and you put money, then probably your game will end up at the Extreme Masters. So, I mean, it's fair trade, but that was the killer for 1.6 and Counter-Strike.
Well, I think one, they didn't release a new game for a long time, right? Two, if you're a new player coming into Counter-Strike, you're going to get demolished. There's a high skill ceiling, you know? If you want to go play a solo queue in League of Legends, you can go have some fun at a low level and play. In Counter-Strike, it's not that fun at a low level. So I think for a new person coming into Counter-Strike after it's been out for 10 years, it's difficult. So I think a new game coming out has helped that perception, because now they could come in and say, it's not a big deal, I could go through the matchmaking system and play against people my level.
It's tough to say why the old Counter-Strike versions got smaller. It's probably got to do with the fact that the game is old and stopped getting new players in. And at the same time, there came new, more popular games, which were easier to run as a tournament, because you could sell the sponsors a story, hey, this is a new game, it requires a new graphics card, it requires a new processor. So globally, everybody wanted to run tournaments for other games and not necessarily Counter-Strike. Although Counter-Strike was holding on very, very well still in, you know, the Russian-speaking region, but in the US it was gone. In the west of Europe it was gone. In Asia it was gone. So it had a rough patch, but it's on the up now.
Ну, в первый раз, когда я увидел анонс турнира DreamHack Winter 2013 на $250 тысяч, ну, не скажу, что я там прыгал от счастья, что-то такое. Ну, я реально осознал в тот момент, что игра растет, игра прогрессирует и в дальнейшем будет только лучше.
I think the CS scene or CSGO scene had such a rough start because, you know, they've been playing 1.6, right? If you look at it, it's like the graphics is horrible, the sound is horrible, it had bugs, but the feeling inside it was like the most amazing game ever to play, like because it had that Counter-Strike feeling inside it. I think people, you know, moving over to CSGO didn't really have that, you know, mindset, like, hey, it's a new game, it won't feel exactly the same way moving over, and then it's like, people are always like really fast to, nah, I'm not gonna play that, I've been playing 2 hours and something. But I mean, since a big chunk of the people actually continue playing or started playing CSGO, most of the other people started playing as well, it's like, hey, this is not such a bad game. So, nah, I think that's the reason I had such a shaky start.
Ну, это долгий процесс эволюции Counter-Strike. Вот. Не могу сказать, что одна игра хуже другой или так далее. Все игры разные, абсолютно разные. В какой-то степени CSGO, конечно, является квинтэссенцией Counter-Strike 1.6 и Source, но его видоизменяют, пытаются адаптировать, пытаются принести больше баланса в игру. Это, конечно же, это хороший, позитивный момент.
Basically, when CSGO came out, it was some sort of the, you know, some sort of the dividing factor. The audience was divided onto the new Counter-Strike followers and the 1.6, as well as the Source, because it's like 3 Counter-Strike at one time on the scene. For sure, it somehow influenced on the basic gaming experience, audience, and so on. But I think the Valve is kind of game developer that are trying to work with the community, trying to work with team and players, so they're improving their game on a daily basis.
Gamers don't like change. Gamers prefer to stick to what they think is, you know, skill. So when something new comes out, they are not very patient with the product. They are not very happy to give it a real chance, because sometimes the difference is just that, the difference. It's not worse, it's not better, it's different. I can't say for Counter-Strike and Counter-Strike Go what the differences are, because I don't really play these games. I've managed many tournaments, I know the community, but when it comes to FPS games, I'm a Quake and Unreal Tournament guy. But I think it's been difficult to transition for the community based on the history and the hatred of the Source community with the 1.6 community and back. And both of them kind of felt like, hey, this game doesn't feel really like my game, and didn't want to give it a good shot. However, Valve has done a really good job overall improving the game, and now it's becoming more and more popular. The pros are not complaining about it. The pros are actually actively playing in the game. You've got tons of teams, tons of professionals, a big, vibrant community. And I have to say, I'm really impressed because honestly, I didn't think it would grow so big.
The community is slowly rising because I think it's been very focused on MOBAs and RTS centric. But now that we're bringing back a first-person shooter, I think people are starting to see that there's still something to play for in Counter-Strike, and it's not gone yet.
Counter-Strike is the most esports-oriented title, and for sure, I think bringing back the FPS on the highest level means that the polarity of esports will change. That bringing more different titles on the stream and make it more interesting to watch, more more new talents will come here, more teams, more sponsors, tournaments, and everything. So I would love to have Counter-Strike as a #1 title once again. I don't know when it will happen, or will it happen overall, but still, it's like for now, I think that the Counter-Strike is on the right way.
We have had an absolutely phenomenal 4 days of action, and this on the final day promises to be nothing short of spectacular. This would be an epic final in any circumstance of playing in Poland. Did you believe that you'd make it here?
It was our goal. It was our dream, but it's not finished. The job is not done yet.
Where is it written that all our dreams must be small?